I think we should have all these troops surrounding your home because I think I recognize your voice from the show To Catch a Predator. Have a nice day, ma'am.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And by the way, I just wanted to let you know my pronouns are he, they.
Hi, Doug.
And
I thought his name was
got
Doug.
that memo. Are we still doing that stuff? I didn't.
Hi, Clarence.
All right, hold on a second. I don't know why Democrat MAGA. I don't know why Democrat MAGA starts off the phone call. He wonders why I get frustrated and why I abuse him every day. This is why. What do you? What? No. You called in the. Did he just hang up the phone?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Okay. You called in the other day and you said Democrats think saying Merry Christmas is racist. And
what?
this was played on an XM satellite show, a show that I did the other day. I was a guest, and you sounded really stupid. I'm sorry.
Really?
Here's why. When you make a claim
What
like
the
that,
hell?
just because a few people might say it on social media, it doesn't mean the entire Democrat Party says it. I asked you to name one prominent person that has ever said that. You said you couldn't recall. So Democrat MAGA, don't start a conversation, my advice to you, by saying something that you cannot prove. And when you start talking about pronouns, which, by the way, I could care less about right now.
I just want to make sure those racist Republicans don't misgender
all right.
me.
Well, ma'am, here's what I'd like to do, ma'am.
Okay,
so my dear, ma'am.
No, it's he, they.
Okay, so Mrs. Democrat MAGA, can you please make a point that's a little...
Yes.
Is he a millennial? Are you a millennial?
Make a point,
No,
I don't care.
Okay, so
Make a
the
point.
reason I'm calling is, I was so
Please.
happy that you finally agreed with Herb. It was so awesome that you agreed with Herb that the National Guard in Washington, D.C. is a great thing bringing down crime. I almost crashed my Lamborghini.
I never said...
into a ditch.
Okay, so once again, you're mischaracterizing what I said. I never once have said it's, quote... that's the problem. You don't listen. You make a claim, now you listen, and I'm going to refute what you just said.
And then I'll refute what you refute.
Okay, well, that'll be my decision because it's
Does he
my
wanna be
show
called-
and not yours. I never said it was a good thing that he's calling in the troops to these cities. What I said was actually the obvious. It's putting a Band-Aid on a problem throughout the country. What do I mean by that? And I said this in the call, and it's mesmerizing. You don't know how to understand or listen to my points. When they leave, whether it be DC or Chicago, the crime rate will go back up. And it's hard for me to have a conversation with somebody that doesn't seem to understand.
Brian, quick comment.
Go ahead.
It's called the crime displacement theory.
Exactly.
Just so you know.
And I tried.
So the theory is,
Yeah.
just to expand a little bit, the theory is you can overwhelm an area with zero tolerance and you would displace the crime. But you know what happens as soon as they leave, as soon as they have another duty? Guess what happens? Do you know what do you want to be called? They or he? She?
Call him her.
They?
Yeah, call him her.
No, he,
Them?
they.
Is it them?
Ma'am.
They.
Just call him ma'am.
They.
Who
But
cares?
anyway,
They.
but here's my so Brian made the analogy of pick a busy street in Las Vegas where people are speeding all the time, and police put up a speed trap. And for a month, nobody speeds on that street. It takes all the speeders off the road, that type of thing. And then Brian said, and after a month, the police go away and everyone speeds again.
That's true.
So my.
Is that not true?
So you're embarrassed.
Ma'am, is that not true, ma'am?
They.
Ma'am, is that not true?
Thing.
Answer
So
the question. Is that not true? Yes or no?
That's 100% true.
Okay,
But-
thank you.
So the Democrats now just shrug their shoulders and say, well, they're just going to speed anyway. Might as well not do nothing. At least Trump
No
is
one said
trying.
that. No one said that. No,
Nobody
you
said
name
that.
one
He said there
person
should be no
who has
truth.
said that.
Now,
Name
let me
one
ask you-
person, one prominent figure that has said that.
Yeah,
that is a
Well,
lie.
let me
That's
ask- I'm
unethical.
still finishing my sentence. Would you say that troops in D.C., I don't know, maybe they've been there a month. Would you say, and there's no way to prove for sure, that having them there possibly stopped 10 murders? Yes or no?
You can't. You
We don't know
can't.
for sure.
You can't
Such a
base
stupid
stats on.
statement.
You know, during Christmas we used to
but
park
if
a
it
police
did-
car
Let me
outside
ask-
of Walmart.
Okay, so let me ask
stop
you.
crime, but you can't prove
I've
it.
let this guy,
Yes or
Democrat
no?
MAGA, can you please explain
That
to me
makes-
if you
stupid.
do you think that why didn't Donald Trump go after and bring out the troops to the most dangerous cities per capita in this country? Can you please explain to me why it was DC and Chicago?
Tell me what's a more dangerous city?
Memphis.
What?
Memphis.
Memphis?
Just gave you an
I
example.
think was on the radar. He did talk about Memphis.
I talked
hold
about it.
on.
He did-
Hold on. The question wasn't whether the president talks about it. I need you to pay attention. If in fact Donald Trump cares about crime in this country, he wants to lower the crime in some of the dangerous cities in America, why didn't he start? Hold on. Here comes the question. Here comes the question. Wait for it. Why didn't he start with the most dangerous cities in the country? Could it be possible he just wanted to go to the Democrat cities with black mayors? Chicago. Can you please explain to me why? Why?
I would say in Chicago because the people are begging. Brand Johnson has a 6% approval rating. Everything.
Okay, so let's stop you right there. Let's stop you right there. Let's stop you right there. So you're defending not sending out the troops to the most dangerous cities, but sending them to Chicago because, quote, people are begging. Do you realize how stupid you sound?
Does Memphis have a black mayor?
So I ask you again, it's not people. You don't send troops out to cities because allegedly people are, quote unquote, begging. And by the way, there's a lot of people in Chicago that are begging them to
and there's
leave,
a lot of people begging all over the United States.
I'm going to name you 5 cities right now. I'm going to name you 5 cities right now. And I wonder if they're begging. Memphis, Detroit, St. Louis, Oakland. I named you 4. Cleveland, another one. Can you please explain to me why he decided to go to Washington, D.C. and Chicago first? If in fact it's about cleaning up and lowering crime in the most dangerous cities, why didn't he send the troops out to those cities? Doesn't it go against everything that you are saying?
D.C. makes perfect sense. It's the capital of the United States.
Oh, because it's the capital. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So let's not send out. So hold on. So local law enforcement, the mayor said, we don't need you here, but because they're quote unquote by your standard the capital, we're going to put troops out to Washington D.C. first because it's labeled the capital, but we're not going to throw out those troops to the most dangerous.
It is the capital.
Okay, so because it's the capital, we are going to. Do you realize how stupid you sound? We're not going to go into the most dangerous cities. We're going to go into.
Can I ask him a question, Clarence? Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you feel that? I mean, you don't have to answer, but do you feel that you're racist? Because I'm getting a racist vibe from you.
Of course he is.
No,
not at all.
Do you believe that black people and minorities have the same rights and same opportunities in America as everyone else?
They have the exact same rights. There's not one law that discriminates a black person from a white person.
Right, and you believe they should have those rights, correct?
We should have those, you said?
Yeah, should minorities have the same abilities and the same...
And they all have the exact same rights and laws in this country. A black person, I can't do anything a black person can't do and vice versa.
Okay, so you're saying that you're not racist, but you don't see the analogy of sending troops into cities that are predominantly black and have black mayors? You don't see the analogy?
So let me just go with these. What's the downside? So if I don't commit any crimes and I'm walking around and I see a hardworking guy with the national, and I say hello, walk by, what's the downside?
The downside is it seems racist. That's the downside. It seems like it's targeting certain communities, and we all know that Trump has been accused hundreds of times of being racist.
If you're in that community, wouldn't you? Let's just say you're a minority in that community. Would you be happy that I'm like? If I was a minority in that community, I'd be like, wow. Well,
here's how I feel about that question, Dave. Here's how I feel about that question. I would never compare myself to a person with black skin because I've never been hated for the color of my skin. And I can't imagine what it's like to get up every day and be a smart, productive person and a family man or a family woman and be a good person in society and have people hate you just because you happen to have dark skin, which, by the way, you can't do anything about that. You're born that way.
Let me just say this to Miss Democrat MAGA. Here's what I think Donald Trump should do. I would deploy all the troops into your home to inspect your hard drive. That's what I think they should do. I think we should have all these troops surrounding your home because I think I recognize your voice from the show To Catch a Predator. Have a nice day, ma'am. And if you're going to call back, please try to bring up some better points because you are ridiculous.
You need to work on it.
You are ridiculous.
Okay.